Low.
Test. That's too high.
Yes, now done.
Test. How's that?
Yes, yes, clear. It's clear.
All right,
It's
let's
out.
do it. I've got another call in 25 minutes. So,
Yeah, I know. I'm really sorry. I really got confused by the link and everything. What's that all about? The link that you sent.
that's just. I think it just goes out automatically. But I just
Oh,
assume if someone's going to get me on a podcast, they're going to send their own link.
yes. I was, and then I saw your the other Q&A. I saw your Q&A and was like I thought you were. It got totally confused, man.
That's all right.
So, sir, like it's just really great to have you on my podcast. Um, I I I think like so. How long have you like been really following like cricket, and what's your like experience in it? Because I used to like watch football, like I mean like cricket, like
Are we
long time back.
live? Is this it? Is this the
Yes,
podcast? Have we started? Okay.
yes.
I grew up in a cricket family.
Mm,
So my father was a cricketer, amateur cricketer, and I was watching him when I was a baby. And then my mum worked with the cricket club. My auntie worked with the cricket club. My uncles played. So I was there from a very young age, and honestly, it never occurred to me that cricket may not be what everyone did all day on the weekend. Just that was the environment that I grew up in.
mm. So like, did you like ever try playing like cricket? Like ever you ever wanted to be like a big like cricketer or something?
I played cricket
Mm,
my whole life. I still play cricket. Just
mm.
not good enough to be a professional cricketer. By a long way not good enough. I'm a decent club cricketer, and that's about all.
Yeah. So like, even I wanted to play cricket at some stage, but again in most of like Asia, and I'm from Nepal, right? So at that time, the cricket was not that much popular. Football was much more popular than cricket, but yet
Okay.
yet something happened to me, and I just fell in love with the game. I lost the charm of the game. The charm of the game lost when T20 cricket arrived for me. Strangely, because most of the people liked it. I usually love when the contest is like very even between the ball and the bat.
Hmm.
So with the introduction of T20 cricket, I think the whole charm of the cricket has been lost. So like, what do you think? Where it
I mean,
did
you
it go
say
all wrong?
that, but
Mm.
you're a Nepalese fan. If it wasn't for T20 cricket, I don't think we'd know how good Nepal is.
Yes, yes,
If it
I know.
wasn't for the money coming into the
Mm.
game, I don't think anyone
Yes.
would be going to Nepal looking for young players to be able to play in their franchises. So realistically, T20 has really opened up the game in a way
Mm.
that beforehand it wasn't open up. In fact, it was set up purposely so that only the existing teams could play it. That's a gentleman's club. So I can understand why it's changed your opinion of the game, but essentially what T20 cricket really has done is give the ability for everyone to play the game, which was certainly not the case 10 years ago or 20 years ago.
Yes. But I still think like the shots that have been played right now, just you know, the respect for the ballers is like very less.
Oh, you need to go.
There is to be some.
You need to go and look at old clips of cricketers, because people
Yes,
say
yes.
this to me all the time, and I've probably spent more time looking at clips of cricketers from the 1800s through to today, if you can find any from
Mm.
the 1800s, more the early 1900s. I think is the stuff that you can see. There's no respect for the bowlers. There's stupid shots being played by top order batters all the time. Victor Trumper started playing across the line in the early 1900s. People have been compulsive hookers since there's been bouncers around, right? The reverse sweep, when was that? 1950s, I think. It wasn't even a white ball to shot. It started in red ball cricket. We've always had these kinds of cricket. We look back on these things with rose tinted glasses, but in actual truth, the way that cricket has always been played, batters have always played stupid shots. If batters didn't play stupid shots, no one would ever go out. It's a big wide bat.
Yeah, but I still feel like the number of the frequency of the shots, those have like really increased.
Well,
Those reckless shots.
T20 got popular in the early 2000s,
Yeah.
and in the 12 years that came after that was the greatest batting era in Test cricket. So I don't know what to tell you, man. They made more runs than they ever had made before, even though half of them were trying to get T20 contracts, and all of them grew up playing one day cricket. As far as I'm concerned, there's been heaps of great effects from T20 cricket. It wasn't that long ago that very fast bowlers kind of weren't that useful in Test cricket. And part of the reason they were is because they couldn't bowl accurately. You can't be a white ball bowler and not bowl accurately. And so
Yeah,
we've seen this whole other breed of bowlers like Pat Cummins who can bowl 90 miles an hour consistently on a spot. What incredible skills that new bowlers have. So, yeah, I can understand the sort of traditional aspect of everything,
yeah,
but cricket's not that traditional a game. It's just not. It's changed hundreds of times. It's just that
Mate.
people haven't noticed it because it's not been reported on correctly. But it's not true that cricket is the same as it was, 150 years ago, and that suddenly T20 changed everything. Cricket has been in a constant state of evolution for a long time because it's one of the oldest sports. It's just that that is not how it was reported, partly because after World War II, the English sort of controlled the narrative of cricket as they had beforehand, and they started talking about nonsense things like the spirit of cricket and all this sort of stuff. Well, let me tell you about the spirit of cricket. W.G. Grace was a sham. He was an amateur who was paid. No spirit of cricket in that. Completely dodgy as hell. He was involved in games where there may or may not have been match fixing involved. He cheated in matches. Victor Trumper, the absolute golden child of great behaviour when it comes to cricketers, once went on strike because he didn't get paid. And Larry Constantine, one of the most respected cricketers ever in the world, played for the West Indies so he could get a contract playing league cricket in England. Nothing changes. It's all the same. Just the shots are different.
yeah. Maybe I just fell in love with the when I grew up in the '90s era of the cricket. Um, well, like, do you think in T20 there should be more, allowances for the bowlers, like just the margin of wide, even in the leg side? There should be like little bit on the like they should at least 1 to 2 inches for them on the leg side to be a wide or something like that, or bouncers. Do you
Um,
think that?
I think bowlers are doing really
Sometimes,
well in T20 cricket. I actually
yes,
think the
yes.
opposite of almost everyone else. I think bowlers have done brilliantly in T20 cricket. I think in the last 12 years, the runs per over in T20 cricket's gone up about zero point 0.6 runs an over, which is certainly on the way up, but nothing compared to, let's say, women's cricket, where it's gone up massively, right? So I actually think bowlers have done really well in T20 cricket. I think that's the format they've done the best because they have to, because they're getting paid to do
Yes,
it.
yes.
Um,
Yeah.
I'm not sure giving him an extra 2 inches on the leg side line is really going to help anyone. But yeah, I probably think differently. I think other people look at the current run rate in T20 cricket and it's 8 runs and over, and people go, "Oh, look how high this is. That just means bowlers are doing terribly." Because I think if there was 10 runs and over, bowlers would be doing terribly. At 8 runs and over, I'm like, they're still in the game. And things are
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
change, obviously, but no, I don't think T20 cricket needs to be changed that much. There's some things that you could do to make it slightly better if you really wanted to. You could change the quality of the cricket being played, but as a general rule, I think T20 cricket's fairly solid.
Yeah, it's very it's good. But I still feel somehow, and but how do you even, sorry, like, how do the uh, bowlers? I think the bowlers have become more defensive minded due to T20 cricket.
Well, it's funny you say that because we're in an era where the batting average in Test cricket has dropped massively. So if they're more defensive minded, how come they're taking so many more wickets in Test cricket?
No, no,
And
no,
if
no. It's
T
like,
20 cricket
no,
is ruining bowlers, why are they doing so much better at Test cricket? So I don't know about that.
no. I mean, like, even the batsmen. There are very few batsmen who plays like late. Who plays late. They're like, they don't play according to the merit of the ball. That's what I feel. That's why they are getting out. Sometimes they perform very well. The batsmen. Sometimes they just get out like a pack of cards. You know.
Um, I don't think, honestly, I just don't think that's true. Fundamentally, I think that bowling has changed and batters haven't caught up with it. I don't think that necessarily what has happened is so there was a period in the I don't know, around 2009 2010 where batters were really scoring fast in Test cricket, right? That was when they were at their I would say that was at their most aggressive that they've ever been in the game of Test cricket. We've never had a scoring rate anywhere near the rate of that, except for maybe the 1900s when players were a bit more reckless. And players were making runs everywhere. Now, Test cricket's actually got a lot more defensive. The batting is a lot more defensive in the last 5 years, even 10 years, than it was in the 10 years before that. And yet they're still going out. Now, if you're talking about techniques is a completely different thing. What you're talking about with techniques is that the game has fundamentally changed, right?
Oh, okay.
The DRS has changed the game. Analysis has changed the game. Fitness levels of bowlers have changed the game. The speed that bowlers bowl the ball at. All these things have slowly changed over the last couple of years. And what you're seeing is now the techniques of the past are not working in Test cricket anymore. So you're seeing players trying to come up with different methods. Everything from walking down the wicket against slower bowlers to standing outside off stump so that you can't be out caught behind as much. All these sorts of things are happening in Test cricket, and that is because the game has fundamentally changed, and we are changing the way we are playing it. There are more than enough absolutely dire slow block artists in Test cricket at the moment, almost as many as there were in the 90s. And so comparatively, I don't know, I don't really see that.
So like my question, like if like bowlers are getting better, like so why can't a Jimmy Anderson bowler, who's a top quality test bowler, like Nathan Lyon, top quality test bowler, can bowl do the same in like other formats, the shorter formats?
Because the ball's different.
Because I think like some bowlers are really suited to test bowling,
Yeah,
because
the
they
ball's
follow
different.
like the yes
The ball's different.
those
Like
two.
it's completely different. The ball is different.
Yeah.
A red ball is dyed, and it
Mm.
maintains its hardness and its shape and its seam and its ability to swing and its ability to slide through for a spinner. A white
Yeah.
ball is painted, and the paint comes off it, right? And it gets
Yeah,
soft,
yeah, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They are not the same. They are not the same thing. And what we had up until 15 years ago, or well, maybe even 5 years ago, if you want to be really technical, players were still playing both forms of cricket in a similar way. What we've seen over the last 5 years specifically is that T20 cricket's almost a sport on its own at the moment. One day cricket also is almost a sport on its own at the moment. And Test cricket is very different to them. So those two are going off in a pattern together, and red ball cricket's going off on its own journey. And those skills don't necessarily transfer. Um,
Yes.
and then you just have basic things like there aren't that many bowlers who can swing the ball or spin the ball in Nathan Lyon's case in one direction and be successful in T20 cricket. He doesn't really have a ball that goes the other way. He's never going to probably have a consistent ball that goes the other way. Until he does, that makes him one-dimensional in T20 cricket, which is why Australia have gone with guys like Adam Zampa, or they've gone with guys like Ashton Agar who can hit the ball further. Jimmy Anderson was a very good white ball bowler when he was young, but the game has changed. And his ability to affect the game has changed. He also can't bat, which is a concern for an England team that likes to bat down to 11. Plus, England won a World Cup without him. So I'm not sure that they necessarily need Jimmy Anderson. They made a World T20 final without him. They made a Champions Trophy semi-final without him, I think. Yeah, the second one at least. And they won the World Cup without him. So I think England don't need Jimmy Anderson, and I'm also not sure that he was a particularly good white ball bowler at the end. Also, the more he bowls professionally for England, the less testo get out of him. They're already winning a World Cup without him. It makes a lot more sense to not do that, I would think.
Yeah, I get like, but the comparison that of the bowlers, that the bowlers are doing better due to T20 cricket is I don't think that's relevant, right? Because they are like different bowlers. You need different types of skill sets, right?
No, well, see,
Because a
this is
good ball,
where yes, but there are definitely skills that have helped bowlers from white ball cricket. The ability to bowl with a ball that's no good, for instance, is something that you have to do in white ball cricket more often, which means that you're bowling up until from basically, I don't know, from basically the late or early 60s through to the mid 90s, almost every bowler in the world to make it to the top level had to bowl with an outswinger, right? Which meant that all these bowlers were really good with a new ball, and then they would die off a little bit, and then you would hope that the pitches would fall apart, or you had good enough spinners to overcome them. Then what has happened is we got tall, fast bowlers from the West Indies, and then we got tall, fast bowlers from Australia, and that kind of changed things a little bit when it came to those kinds of things. The next big step was always going to be bowlers who could take wickets, especially seam bowlers, because seam bowlers are fundamentally better than spinners. They average a lot less than spinners around the world outside of Asia. So in most of cricket, seam bowlers are more important. So the important thing then was for seam bowlers to get very good at bowling with an old ball, right? Now that's something that you have to do in one-day cricket all the time. So there's one skill that they've got a lot better at, is being able to manipulate the old ball. The other one is that in white ball cricket, you have to be very accurate, right? And you are now being paid to be accurate. So that also then, that changes how good you are at your accuracy. And so what we're seeing is a whole generation of bowlers coming through who have the ability to hit the top of off stump. That's not the case before. Swing bowlers generally can't hit the top of off stump because they can't control the ball properly. They're just trying to get it in a general area. And fast bowlers beforehand, we didn't even tell them that. We just said, "Oh, go be fast." But now you see the difference of, Pat Cummins or Jofra Archer or Jasprit Bumrah. When you can be fast and accurate, that's a whole different world, right? That's a whole different world. And so those skills directly come across from white ball cricket, as does just experimenting what we do with the ball. I don't think it's an accident that at the same time that we sort of all become experts at slower balls, that the wobble seam is now such an important part of Test match cricket, right? Because bowlers were used to trying different things. Whereas before, you bowled seam up, and that's what you did.
Seam straight, yes.
Yeah,
Straight
that's
off
all
the
you
hand,
did.
back and forth. Yes. So, like, how do we take, like, one of my dreams is to, like, really take, if cricket could come to Olympics, right? So, is there any, like, format that could take cricket to form, like, Olympics? I think, like, T10 cricket would be great for it. That's what I feel.
Yeah.
I don't know, with some regulations.
Well, cricket is coming to the Olympics. I mean, it will end up being in the Olympics sooner rather than later. They've obviously been talking to the IOC quite a bit. There's been a few news articles about it. I think that there's no reason not to just play T20. I think if you've got T10, T20, one-day cricket and Test cricket, plus things like the 100, I just don't see what the point of having all these different formats is at a certain point. We're basically getting very close to creating a similar situation to car racing, where everyone's going to have their own separate kind of car racing, and people go off and do this one and not that one. But the difference is that car racing, that means all the talent pool is divergent, and they don't have car racing isn't really an international sport in the same way that cricket is. So I don't think we need to do T10. I think there's more than enough time in an Olympic week to do T20.
But will time be a factor, even though it's T20? Like, it's 3 hours, right?
Yeah.
For, like,
So
yeah, T10 is like one and like 90 minutes. It's almost like football,
T20, T20, you could play
right?
you could play 6 games a day. You could have 2 grounds.
Can we do that? Oh, can we do that? Like,
Why not?
will
Why can't we have 2 grounds? It's the Olympics. They've got billions of dollars.
because yeah,
Why can't we play 6 games a day? 3 on one pitch, 3 on another. We could do it on synthetic pitches. Lots of places in the world play cricket on synthetic pitches. South Africa and Pakistan started their Test careers playing on synthetic pitches, right? Just hundreds of ways to get around something like that. I just don't see what the point of having another format is. It's already pushing the game in another direction that it doesn't really need to be in.
Yeah.
T20 is a wonderful format. There's nothing wrong with T20. There's a few tweaks we can make to make it better. One-day cricket is hard for the Olympics. Obviously, Test cricket is completely ruled out. I think there's plenty of time in a day to do that. You can have 4 grounds. You can have as many grounds as you want, man. It's the Olympics.
Okay. Yeah. So talking about synthetic pitches, will there any? Do you think, like, there will be any arrangements in the future that we can play in the rain as well?
We've already got synthetic pitches. They're already being used. The Oval's made a couple.
Yes,
I think
yes.
some of the women's cricket has played on them. So they already exist. the problem with playing cricket in the rain is not. See, people think it's the pitches, but I grew up playing on synthetic pitches. You can't play in the rain anyway because the ball gets
No,
wet.
no. Yes,
So
it's just
even if you
the
fix
like
the
when you
pitch,
catch the ball and everything.
yeah, there's no way really to play cricket in the way that we play it in the rain, and there's never going to be. And to be fair, tennis and baseball don't do it either. So the difference is that they can play just after the rain's finished, and we can't, and that is partly pitches, but also the ground, not just the pitch itself. But the only way to stop that is with roofs.
Okay. So like one more question about the World Test Championship. Like the Test cricket. I've seen your video recently about the results. How to like make the Test matches more World Test Championship more feasible.
Hmm.
So like how do you think like we can produce more results producing Test matches?
This is the highest rate of results in Test matches we've ever had. There's never been fewer draws in Test cricket than there is in this era. Sorry, did you hear that?
We lost him, man.
Yeah, there's never been fewer draws in Test cricket than there are currently now. You got me?
Hello.
Yep, I'm here.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm here.
Sorry, I'm not. Oh, okay. Sorry. Could you repeat that
Yep.
again? I
There's
just heard
never.
like there's never
Yep.
been
Yeah, there's never been
more
fewer
result oriented
draws.
test.
Yeah,
Uh,
there's never been fewer draws than there are right now. We have had more results in Test cricket over the last 5 years than we've had in any other era off the top of my head. I'd have to go back and check the early 1900s because sometimes there's weird stuff there. But off the top of my head, this is the most deep results we've ever had in Test cricket, and there's a bunch of reasons for that.
yeah. So like, I mean, like the final nearly got drawn. It nearly got drawn. I think like India played aggressively in the second innings. That's what I feel. That's why like they won. New Zealand got a chance to do that. They bowled
Well,
exceptionally well as well, but
yeah,
before
I
that,
mean,
India
New
used to
Zealand.
play for draw and everything.
Well, India
Yes,
wasn't
yes,
playing for the draw; they were trying to win the game. Isn't that what you want? I mean,
yes,
isn't
yes.
that
That's
the
why
idea of
in
of
the
cricket? I mean, they
yes,
thought they could beat
like,
New Zealand and they played for the win. They weren't that
yeah,
far away from
yes,
probably breaking New Zealand's spirit and winning that game. They were struggling to
yes,
defend because New Zealand had bowled so well in conditions that favoured New Zealand. And they went for the win and they lost. That's kind of what we want of Test cricket. I think that, considering the amount of
yes.
rain we had, I thought that was a fantastic Test match. So I've certainly got no problems with that particular game.
Yeah, no, no. I've not got problems with that also. Like there may be some teams that go for draw. What do you do then?
That's part of Test cricket. I don't, as I said, we just don't have that many draws. Like I don't.
It doesn't feel
I mean,
like it really doesn't feel right. So,
a draw is part of
yeah,
Test cricket. I don't see how we
yes,
would ever take it away. We shouldn't take it away. It's part of the skill of the game is that you don't just have to win it; you have to defeat the draw as well. And if you fall behind, you don't have to just give up like in other sports. You can fight on and try and maintain some dignity by not losing. That's an incredible part of Test cricket. Why on earth would we want to take that away? Then it would just be like T20 cricket, which you didn't like 5 minutes ago.
yes, yes. But like having a tournament for like 2 years, then again coming to a draw, and
Welcome to Test
if
cricket, man. That's the
imagine if it
game.
happens for
That's the
5 years,
game.
like five World Test Championship straight.
Great. Wouldn't that be awesome?
It
We have
happens for
five straight.
we'll have 10 champions in five.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's the game. The game is more confusing, right? It's a confusing game. It's got lots of layers to it. This is why we play it. If it was simple, we would have been playing one-day cricket and we would have got rid of Test cricket. We love Test cricket because
Yes,
of what it is, right? So, and then complaining about Test cricket because of what it is doesn't make any sense. It is what it is. Anyway, mate, been an absolute pleasure to be on your podcast. Thank you for having me on. I
Yes,
got to
yes.
head
Thank you
off
very
to
much.
another meeting now, but you have a great day and good luck with everything.
Yes, thank you very much.
Cheers. Bye.
Thank you. Same to you, and have a great day. Thank you for very much for coming.